As an ADHDer, do you feel exhausted after you've been excited about something? So all of your energy is going into this thing that you're excited about or that you focused on, and then after it's happened you just feel completely worn out and completely drained and exhausted. I'm going to be talking about that today, so keep watching. I'm Cath, I'm 40 and this year I was diagnosed with ADHD. I am potentially also autistic. I am waiting an assessment for that, but this year I was diagnosed with combined type ADHD. Today inspired my video. So have you ever had that feeling when you're so focused on something and so like either excited or you just prepared for this thing, and then afterwards you just feel completely exhausted? Well, that happened to me today. I have been waiting for this interview that I had today, and it's for a volunteer position, working with a charity, doing something that I've wanted to do for quite a few years, and all of my energy was going into this interview for today. So making sure I was on time was one of my biggest priorities, because as an ADHDer I really struggle with processing time, and to be honest, it's one of my main ADHD traits. I cannot process time. I can tell the time, but I can't tell how much time has passed. I often can't work out how long things take to do. So time has been an issue for me for all of my life. So I was so focused on making sure I wanted to be there a bit early as well, not just on time, because I need a minute to, feel relaxed before I go in. So I wanted to be a bit early, so I had time to park, so I had time to get there and get in and things like that. I wasn't actually nervous about the interview, and considering I haven't had an interview for a long time, because I've been self-employed for a long time, so I wasn't actually that nervous until I got in there. I had the interview, and it was because of the type of work it is doing. It is very much based around things that I'm like quite competent in when it comes to things like, because I've started my training to be a counsellor, a lot of the questions were kind of similar to things that would come up in counselling situations, and I knew the answers to the questions. I knew what I wanted to say, and I said everything to the best I could say it, but I could hear myself going off track. I could hear myself, I felt like my words weren't coming out as they were in my head. Again, that can definitely be an ADHD thing, but overall the interview, I think it went well, and I need to decide as well whether if I am offered that position, whether I actually want to take it, because it ended up being different from what I thought it was. So I had in my head an idea of what it was going to be, and it is quite a lot different from that. And although it would still be very interesting, it would involve me to step out my comfort zone a lot more than I thought I was going to have to. I'm quite open to stepping out my comfort zone, but it just felt like some of the things would be very uncomfortable for me. So I did this interview. It went well. The people who interviewed me were lovely, and I haven't heard anything yet because they're still interviewing people. And then I came home, like I was all dressed up, all smart and everything. I came home and I was thinking, should I go for a coffee or something? I thought, no, I just want to go home. Came home and then I just crashed. I was just exhausted. I was completely like lacking motivation. I just felt really tired and really almost like irritable, and I day to day, in the day, I don't usually feel tired in the day. So, unless it's like certain times of the month when I do need a little nap every night, but most of the time I don't need a nap. Most of the time I've got enough energy through the day, and today I just felt so exhausted, and I just felt uncomfortable in my skin and different to how I'd felt this morning. And I was thinking about that, and then I realised, even though this was something that it was like almost like going to an appointment. So as you know, as an ADHDer, we often, if we have an appointment at a certain time in the day, it's like we don't get much done until that appointment. Like, it's like all we can focus on is that appointment, so we're kind of like in waiting mode. And it was almost the reverse for me. So it was like I had to get loads of things done before this interview, but then afterwards felt like the waiting mode part, which is kind of back to front to how it usually is. So I couldn't work it out. Then I was thinking more and more about times when, if I get really, really excited, like if there's a fairground, for example. I love fairgrounds, and I am like an excited little kid when there's a fairground and I need to go there, and I'm so excited, and I've got all this adrenaline, and I've got all of this like energy to go, and I go on the fairground rides and love it, and it's just a massive like dopamine boost. And then afterwards I'm completely exhausted. And then I realised that's exactly what it was today. It was that same thing. And although I wasn't like extremely excited about the interview, it was something that kind of evoked those similar emotions, like something like an exciting opportunity, or something like nervousness and excitement are quite similar. It's quite a similar feeling in the body. So I realised that is what's happened today. It's like, it's that dopamine crash after the dopamine high. So the interview, like leading up to it, was like the dopamine going up, and then afterwards it just drops completely. And I was just wondering, do you experience this as an ADHDer? Because I experienced this in any situation like that. Actually, I experienced that kind of dopamine crash after the dopamine high, if I'm excited about something, or if I've put loads of effort into something, and so it's really like building up to an event kind of thing, and then afterwards I just feel exhausted. So the point of the video was just kind of to share my experience and to ask if you experience the same kind of thing. Thank you for watching.